Hi vinyl community, it's Mike Vinyl Spiral here, back with another video. And today I'm going to do my response to a thread started by Dillon at Noble Records. Most of you probably know Dillon and his channel because it's really big. He's over in the States, he shows lots of really cool records, and he owns a record store. So anyway, the challenge is to link 20 albums. Dillon acknowledged that this thread had been done before, but it's a really good one, really difficult as well, but it's definitely worth doing again, and I've not done it before. So here goes. So, starting off with this one, it's Jane Birkin, and it's her album from 2020, and it's called Oh, Pardon to Dorme. And I really love Jane Birkin, always have done, and as I say, this is her album from 2020, so that's the starter. Next one, pretty easy. It's Serge Gainsbourg. Jane Birkin was married to him for a long time, and this is Histoire de Melody Nelson, one of his better albums. So that's number 2. And Serge Gainsbourg and Jane Birkin, their daughter is Charlotte Gainsbourg, and this is her album 555. There you go. And there were at least two videos made from tracks from the album, and one of them was The Operation, the other one was Beauty Mark, and the fashion photographer Jean-Baptiste Mondino was involved in both of those videos. Next album is Nana Cherry, and the link here is that Jean-Baptiste Mondino did the photography for this album. That's Nana Cherry, Raw Like Sushi. And Nana Cherry had a big hit with Usu and Dor called 7 Seconds. And this is the album that it comes from, Usu and Dor's album, Womat, The Guide. There you go. There it is, not a lot to say. And Usu and Dor guested some vocals on Peter Gabriel's album So, and it's the first track of side 2, and it's called In Your Eyes, and so the link is that Usu and Dor did backing vocals on Peter Gabriel's album So. And of course, Peter Gabriel was in Genesis. So here you go. This is Nursery Crime, one of Genesis's early albums. There you go. And that album was produced by John Anthony, and John Anthony also produced this album by Van de Graaff Generator. It's called The Least We Can Do. Sorry, I've even forgotten the name of the album, haven't I? The Least We Can Do Is Wave to Each Other. And there you go. That's the album. Also produced by John Anthony. And this album was actually recorded at Trident Studios in London, and one of the other many albums that were recorded at Trident Studios was this one. This is Queen 2. Don't need to tell you about this. And of course, famously, Brian May has a doctorate in astrophysics. And somebody else who also has a doctorate in astrophysics is this lady, Gwyneth Raymond. She's from Wales. She's an absolutely brilliant guitarist, and she utilises something called the claw hammer technique, which apparently is more usually used for playing the banjo. If you watch any of her videos, it looks rather odd the way she plays the guitar, but she's absolutely brilliant. Anyway, this album is called Strange Lights Over Garth Mountain, and the title track is inspired by an alleged UFO sighting over Garth Mountains, which is in Wales, where Gwyneth Raymond is from. And somebody else who claims to have seen a UFO is Rick Wakeman. And Rick Wakeman claims that he witnessed a UFO sighting over Miami Beach way back in the 70s, and it inspired this album, which is No Earthly Connection. So that's Rick Wakeman, No Earthly Connection. And the drummer on that album was Tony Fernandez. And Tony Fernandez was in the Strawbs, and this is I think their fifth album, Bursting at Seams, and the photographs of the band were taken by a photographer called Finn Costello. And Finn Costello also did the photographs for this album, which is by Budgie, Never Turn Your Back on a Friend. There it is. And there's photographs of the band on the inside taken by Gil Costello. And of course, Budgie was also the name of a drummer. And this is the album by The Creatures, which is a collaboration between Budgie and Susie. It's called Feast, and that's Budgie and Susie, Feast. And of course, the obvious link here is they're both in Susie and the Banshees. So there you go, Kiss in the Dream House by Susie and the Banshees. Another member of the Banshees, now sadly departed, is guitarist John McKeough, and he was also in the band Magazine. This is called Old World Charm, and it's BBC sessions. It was a record store day release a couple of years back. So there you go, Magazine, John McKeough, and of course, famously, Howard Devoto is also in that band. He formed that band after he left these guys. And that's the Buzzcocks, of course. And this is another Music in a Different Kitchen. And it's the Buzzcocks' first album. There it is. And another founding member of the Buzzcocks was a guy called Peter Campbell McNeish. And he took his stage name from the romantic poet Percy Bysshe Shelley. So obviously it's Pete Shelley. And that leads on to the jam, believe it or not, and sound effects. And the link here is that there's a extract from Percy Bysshe Shelley's poem, which is called The Mask of Anarchy, and it goes rise like lions after slumber in unvanquishable number, shake your chains to earth like dew, which in sleep had fallen on you. You are many, they are few. Didn't recite that very well, did I? Anyway, that's sound effects and the jam. And one of the tracks on this album, last track on side one, which is a single also, was That's Entertainment. And this is also entertainment. It's a gang of four, and their debut album, Entertainment. And the gang of four are named after a group of four people from who came to light or came to prominence during the Cultural Revolution in China, and were seen as dissidents and counter-revolutionaries. And one of the ringleaders was Chairman Mao's last wife. And Japan's album Tin Drum has a photograph of Chairman Mao up at the top. And so that's my 20th album. So how do I get back to Jane Birkin? Well, one of the singles from this album, Ghosts, is here. It's on side one, third track, I think. Yeah, Ghosts. And Jane Birkin's album also has a track called Ghosts. It's not the same song, but there you go. So I'm back to Jane Birkin and Oh Pardon Du Dormant. So that's it. But before I go, in my last video, Jack at Vinyl Martini pointed out that of the 26 albums I'd shown, only 3 of them were from the other side of the Atlantic. And I do assure you, I've got records from the States, from Canada, from South America, but I just noticed that every single one of these 20 albums is again from my side of the Atlantic. So I'm going to have to do another video one day and concentrate on records that were from over the pond. So until then, that's it, and goodbye everybody.